Chris is here, and we're talking softs. Now, Chris, we've seen a very strong run-up in the hard commodities, you know, your gold, your metals, and those other kind of metals. But you're telling me trading on the exchange for maize particularly has been extremely thin. What are we waiting for?
Morning, Godfrey. Yeah, you know, with the softs, and now we're talking white maize and yellow maize, white maize being our most liquid product, we've obviously been hampered by this large supply of product. We're at one of the record production years. We forecasted on white and yellow just under 13 million tons at this stage.
Right.
So without any great uncertainty in the market, there has been less trading activity on the grain side.
Yeah, and at the same time, next week we know that the Crop Experts Committee is going to come in with numbers for the 2010 season, right? Now, we're sitting with an estimate of around 13 million tons. As you say, that's close to a record. Are we expecting anything out of those numbers that will likely drive prices perhaps lower or higher?
Yeah, with a maize plant or a maize crop that takes some time to grow and then dry off, I don't think we expect significant changes next week's crop.
No surprises coming from there now.
But what we could see, and you know, this is the market. The market has been quiet, is looking for direction, has been trading in the July contract, particularly been trading in a narrow 50 Rand range. Yeah. Whereas if you've seen the large move in the past, 50 Rand movement is certainly very quiet.
Yeah.
What I think we will see is if there's a lot more rain, particularly during the drying off phase, there's always potential for some quality concerns.
Right.
South Africa produces 3 different grades, and we, the exchange, trade the first grade, WM1 maize.
Okay.
Now, if we do see some quality problems through a second grade materializing, what the exchange could do then is list a specific contract, and we have done this in the past when there have been more quality concerns, and that really assists the market with price discovery, because now you can understand what's the value of first grade, what's the value of second grade,
right,
and that might add a new dynamics to the market. 2
questions for you. What are you expecting? Are you expecting that you're going to list that contract? And secondly, what kind of an impact do you see it having on the benchmark price?
Look, it's just a price discovery for second grade. So the impact on the first, yes, there will be some drive if the numbers, so if the quality issue really becomes a big concern and all of a sudden you find that first grade starts to demand a premium, then we could see the impact on the main one. But really, I think what we're doing is we're just trying to assess the market. It is still early days, but if we can add value to the grain market in South Africa by listing the contract, we'd happily do so, as we've done in the past.
Sure, let's put this in context. I mean, what we're talking here about are very good prices for consumers, but perhaps bad prices for the farmers. So perhaps that needs to be to be considered. But let's talk about internationally as well. We have seen our prices taking direction from the international market prices. Nothing has been happening this year.
Yeah, you're quite right. These levels are fantastic for the consumer, and we will be, because we've got the surplus, these low levels, we will be sitting around the export parity market, and we will be looking closely to what the international markets are doing. So if there is any big driver, although there's nothing expected, there's no information in the next few weeks, which could change things drastically. But yes, we'll be following and tracking that market.
But Chris, at the same time, we're sitting with the rand that is trading at its strongest levels in 20 months. Are we seeing maize prices tracking that and perhaps being closer to prices that they were around August 2008?
You're quite right. The strong rand must drive through onto our prices as well as we're tracking the international market.
Yeah.
Do we see that coming through? I think maybe that's also a reason the market has been quiet, is because you find buyers saying, hang on, we expect the maize price to fall on the back of the strong rand, and we find a lot of farmers sitting back and saying, hang on, I'm not going to sell any commodity now, because look, these prices, I'm not making any money. I'd rather wait and see what the market does in the next few months. So that's why you're also filtering through on the exchange volumes, have been thinner than in the past.
Yeah. Now, if we look ahead, I read a report, I can't remember where I saw it, but I do remember reading a report suggesting that the El Nino effect has been detected in some parts of the world, but the expectation was that by August, September, it would have dissipated. What's the news on that?
I tell you, I think our weather guys, or our traders are frustrated with the weather guys, because we were supposed to see an El Nino, and I think a lot of farmers were expecting that January, February certainly didn't materialize. So let's see what happens. I think what next year's plantings or next season's plantings will really be driven around finances.
Yeah.
Is there enough cash to put the next crop in the ground?
Have you seen any figures around preparation and what kind of uptick we have seen in seed price purchases?
It's still very early days for that, Godfrey. But what we do as the futures market, we list a number of contracts into the future, and we are trading the July 2011 contract, and just out of interest, that's priced at 12.56 on the white maize side. So that's a good 150 rand ahead.
It makes sense for a farmer to be putting plant down.
That's it. If they wanted to lock in a price, there's a potential, but yeah, it's still early days for the next season.